Charles with Aerial Skycam with you. Out here, very close to Homa, looking at hurricane damage. Lots of damage from Hurricane Ida out here. This is 4 days after the storm. There's a caravan of power trucks in front of me, getting ready. I'm thinking to work on restoring power out here. But the devastation is just incredible in this area. It just looks like a wrecking ball came through and just knocked down some of these buildings, took roofs off, power lines down everywhere. Oh, it's just really bad. And this is Hurricane Ida. We're approaching Leeville, Louisiana. We're about 39 miles north of Leeville, getting close to the coast of Louisiana. Leeville's right off the coast, near a lot of port areas, very close to Lockport. And you can see just trees down, roofs off, just a lot of damage. I'm just gonna keep driving here and let the camera do the talking. And a lot of power lines down on the ground too. You can probably see those in the video. Zoom in a little bit. Some of the damage is kind of hit and miss. Some houses seem to be fine. Others in the same area have lots of damage. That could be attributed to tornadic activity as well as the storm activity. There's a house right there that seems fine. And right across the street, a pile of rubble from another structure that was just totally flattened by the storm. So you can see how the damage is a bit hit and miss. And I'm sure some people are wondering the fairness of it. You know, that their property might have been destroyed, but their neighbor's property just appears untouched. This is the nature of these kind of storms. Now we're coming up on the port facility at Lockport. Something that we talked about in the previous video. This port facility got heavily damaged. There's a cool boat. That boat's called the Fasta Porter. It's out here in Lockport. Boat looks good, but its port facility is just devastated. You got power lines down. You can see right here, this building's got extensive damage on it. The roof's gone. They're working on trying to repair the fab building right here. Look at that building across the street. It's got damage, but this fab building is just devastated. And again, this is the port facility at Lockport, Louisiana, very close to the Gulf Coast. Wow, this devastation from this storm is just something to be seen. Just unbelievable damage. Right now we're just driving down the highway on our way to Leeville, Louisiana, survey some damage out there. Damage surveys and engineering and talking about nature, that's what this channel is all about. Be sure and smash that like button, like and subscribe. Aerial Skycam Media. We like bringing you this content, and by subscribing you support us so that we can bring you more things like this to let you know what's going on without you having to drive out there, without you having to take the risk. We're going out there, taking it for you, and showing you the damage from devastating hurricanes like this one, Hurricane Ida, that struck Louisiana, making landfall on the historic 16th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina on August 29th, 2021. Devastating this area of Louisiana, very close to the same place where Hurricane Katrina also made landfall 16 years to the day. That's amazing how history repeated itself out here. How now New Orleans just south of New Orleans. It's just amazing how little things change, how much things stayed the same. You know, right now even some of the lessons learned from Katrina are being taught again, and it's really an unfortunate thing. And hopefully we can continue to make this area more resilient from these storms, build stronger structures, be sure to follow all the engineering building codes, doing things like also burying power lines, burying those power lines so that the buried lines will be more resilient to storms. Having these power lines above ground subjects them to these high winds. And because this is a coastal area, it might be a good idea to consider the engineering design of burying these power lines so that this doesn't happen in the future. I know that's going to take a lot of work, but that would be a very good idea. Here's another building with some serious damage on it, a lot of trees down there. But look at that roof. Metal roof just stripped right off the building. Got a lot of power lines on the ground right here. Fortunately, we're in a Volvo XC90. That's a vehicle with a lot of ground clearance, so no problems going over that. That boat right there, the Henry Alex, seems to be holding up okay. We're just driving through, coming up on a water tower up ahead. If we can see it, we'll try to read the name off of it, give you a good idea of where we're at. Passing down, this is the highway that takes you down to the Gulf Coast, and we're getting very close to it. Right now we're about 20 miles north of Leeville, which is about almost as far south as you can go, and eventually we're gonna get down to the coast and see some of the damage where Hurricane Ida made landfall near Port Fourchon. Alright, I see that water tower is off in the distance, but might be able to barely see it. But that reads the town of Valentine, Louisiana. So that's where we are, very close to the coast. We're gonna keep driving and keep recording video for you. Just kind of show you what it's like driving down the coast in Louisiana in the aftermath of Hurricane Ida. See a lot of broken trees pushed off to the side. These trees were blocking the road just a few days ago. When just a few short days ago, Hurricane Ida passed through this area, making landfall with 156 mile-an-hour winds. Right now we're passing by the Valentine terminal. Like I said before, it was on the left. Coming through this area. You can see that not everything here is damaged, but there is some significant damage to the power poles. A lot of trees down. It's just kind of hit and miss, but the places that are damaged have significant damage. Power station, a lot of utility workers in there trying to restore power. Bear in mind, it's not just about the electricity, but the effects that has. Power's out, that means the food's out. That means that the food in the refrigerators are spoiling. That means the stores are not open. You have literally thousands of coolers out there with spoiled and rotting meat right now. Those things are going to have to be cleaned up. So the cleanup's going to last for weeks and weeks after the storm, and months even. Look at the damage out right there. You can see pieces of a roof got pushed into that fence. The power poles are down. That's significant. And it looks like some straight line winds in that area, or possibly even tornadic activity, did that. We've got a tree right here, an oak tree that was pushed over by the storm. The thing to keep in mind is the root system on these trees gets really wet, and when it does get wet, it gets weakened. And by that's how you get these problems. You can see right here some boat damage, boat flipped over. It's just an amazing storm. Lots of damage, lots of power, lots of fury from this hurricane. On the road to Leeville, going towards the Gulf Coast. This is Charles with Aerial Sky Cam.